Alright guys, it is time for the March update on the 2019 Stumpjumper ST that I have. Quick review, it is a 19 Stumpy ST, which is a 130, 120 travel 29er. This one's a 29er. They do make a 27.5. Retail price is about $2K. I bought it new in December, mid-December, and have been riding it as much as I can. Usually 2 or 3 times a week, sometimes more, sometimes less. Right now for the year, I have 348.3 miles exactly, not counting anything done today. So from date of purchase, I have just short of 400 miles on it. So quite a few miles, at least for 3 months, especially considering the weather lately. Now, it is stock except for the touch points. I've changed grips, saddle, and pedals. Actually, all of them at least twice. Currently running race face Chesters. I took off a pair of Crank Brothers Stamp 3s to put the race face on. I'll give a quick review of the Crank Brothers a couple weeks ago. Now that I have some miles on the Chesters, I'll be looking to do a review on those in the next week or two and do a comparison with the Crank Brothers. So currently running ODI Elite Pro grips. This is my actually 3rd set of grips. I started with some Ergon GA1s, the ones with the little wing on them. I'll double check the name. Moved over to some GA2s because I can never quite get the wings right for me on the other ones. So eventually came to the realization I didn't really like how narrow thin the GA2s were, because I believe they're 28 millimeters. I wanted something with a little more thickness to it. So I found the ODI Pros, which are 32s, I believe. This is only my 2nd ride with them. So far, I like them. But I said the same thing about the other 2 sets of grips. So we'll get some more miles on them, and I'll do a review on all the different grips I've used so far. They are a offset grip, so they're thicker on the palm side than they are on the back side. Which once you get it set up, I like it so far. Saddle, currently running an SM Comp, the new saddle from Ergon with a relief cutout. Had an SMC4 prior to that, which was a good saddle. I ended up bending the rail on it when I came up short on a jump. Not the seat's fault, completely my fault. But gave me the chance to try the new one. So I picked up the new seat about a month ago. Really like it. The SMC4 was good, but there's some things I did not like about it. Again, I did a review on it about a week ago. So check that out if you haven't. Did some more details on it for you. Now back to the Stumpy in general. Still pretty happy with it. Now this is my first mountain bike in about 15 years. So I've had to adjust rather significantly to hydraulic disc brakes, 29-inch rims. The last mountain bike I had. So the last mountain bike I had was a 2004 Trek Fuel 70, 26-inch tires, 3x9 drivetrain. Was full suspension. I don't know, I couldn't tell you the travel specs on it, I don't remember now. It's a pretty old bike. So anyways, I upgraded to a entry-level full suspension bike in December. I started riding again, and so I wanted something to get back in shape with and get some experience on the newer bikes, find out what I like and don't like. So Stumpy has done that for me extremely well. It's a great pedaling bike. I'm in South Texas. We don't have the elevation to work with that the guys up in Washington have, or Colorado, or Utah, or Arizona, or pretty much anywhere. We're pretty flat down here. So as a pedaling bike, works good. The rear shock does have a lockout. I don't ever use it, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, I just don't use it. It does make the bike very stiff. I don't notice any bob in the suspension, any meaningful bob in the suspension, even with it open. So I just stick with that setting. Now, the brakes are McGuire. I believe I keep forgetting the name. They're a lower end brake. I've always had issues with a lot of lever travel on them. I need to go re-bleed them. I don't know that they're bled correctly. I think the rear pads are probably toast, and that's completely my fault. Especially initially, I tended to be very rear brake heavy. As you find most guys when they get back into it they tend to trust the rear brake more than the front. I've remedied that with experience, but I'm pretty sure I toasted the rear pads. So I do need to replace those before I really say it's the brakes themselves fault and not just a setup problem or a rider moron problem. Both are completely possible. So I'll do that probably this next month, and then give you an update in April about those. The drivetrain is okay. It's a Sunray / NX stay on the trail. I forget what the derailleur is, but the cassette's a Sunrace, the cranks are NX. It's a hodgepodge. Keep the price point down. It's okay. It's not as clean shifting as a true NX drivetrain or a true GX drivetrain would be. It is 11 speed. It's an 11x46 cassette, so it doesn't have quite the range as the true Eagle setups do. But for what I've done so far, it's been all right. Once I get to some of the bike parks that are around here up in the hill country, they have a little steeper, more technical climbs. I think the 46 might run out of legs for the 46, but we'll see what happens when that day comes. Right now, it's worked fine for what I do. Most of my riding is done at as fast as pace as I can maintain, which isn't all that fast compared to a lot of guys. I track my rides using a Garmin Phoenix 3 HR, which has GPS, so it tracks speed and elevation pretty accurately. I average 11 to 12 miles an hour on a ride. So update, the brakes are Tektro, sorry. Completely messed that name up. So probably the biggest complaint about the stock components for me is the tires. They are butcher tires. They do not have a lot of traction in the kind of stuff we ride. You can see it's kind of, at least right here, it's kind of hard pack. It's only going to get worse as the summer goes on. Once we hit June, July, August, September, we'll be triple digits with very little to no rain that whole time, which means the trails will just be dust and dirt, which makes them really slick on these tires. Around because they don't work in mud either. Over the winter months, we got a lot of rain, and I had problems sliding around in the mud on them too. So, not sure. I've played with air pressures a little bit. So yeah, my biggest complaint about the stock components has been the butcher tires. They don't seem to have a whole lot of traction in anything that I've found. I have played with tire pressures up and down. I haven't found anything that seems to work any better. I probably have most problems with front end traction. Now that could possibly, well, not possibly, part of that lack of traction is due to my physical build. I'm 6'4", but I have a very long torso. So with the reach of the Stumpjumper, what it is, I believe it's 480, something like that. I still tend to be fairly kind of far over the front end. So I really have to adjust my weight around to keep good pressure on the front wheel, especially if I'm off the saddle. It tends to wash. So, you know, I might play around with stem lengths. I might play around with different bars. I don't know. I might play around with different stems or bars, configurations, sweeps, etc. To try to fix that, make it a little more comfortable, a little more planted. We'll see. I don't know. I like the Stumpjumper, but I think it's probably going to be a one-season bike for me as long as I continue riding. Ultimately, there's some local bike parks with relatively steep terrain, and I've already bottomed out the travel on the Stumpy a couple times just in this local, relatively simple trail stuff. So imagine if I get to bigger terrain, I'm gonna have a bigger problem with that. Again, like I mentioned, I'm 6'4", also 200-ish pounds, probably close to 215 with all my gear. So I can put spacers in, but then the suspension is gonna get very progressive very quick, and I'm gonna lose some of that compliance. I like the trails you see me riding right now are really smooth, but a lot of our trails are just rocks, just big nasty rocks. So a lot of our trails are relatively smooth back here, but our local trails are built in a flood zone. So there's a section just off to my left over here that is a drainage ditch, and huge rocks, boulders, gravel, big gravel. And one of the reasons I went with the 29er was a lot of these trails cut across that, go through it, go down it, and the ability to just roll that was something I was looking for. So if I put spacers in the suspension, I'm gonna lose a lot of that compliance on the small bump stuff. It'll keep it from bottoming out as bad, but I'm gonna lose some of that plushness, which I'm not really willing to give up. Obviously, trail I'm riding right now is real smooth. I do that on purpose when I'm talking. Yeah, it's just easier for me to talk in ride a trail like this than it would be something that technical. So, you know, some of my other videos I posted with just pure riding videos. I think I have some videos where I go through some of those rocks and rock beds, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So I'll probably look to upgrade to a probably a longer travel, slightly longer travel 29er, I guess mid travel 29er, 140, 150 mil, something there. Ibis, Ripmo, YTK, Jeffsy, excuse me, something along those lines. Because I still need the pedaling efficiency because I do a lot of pedaling, but I do want something a little bit more capable than this is going to give me, especially as my skills grow. You know, I'm going to push it as hard as I can. You know, I want a bike that can keep up. I'm a firm believer that you should probably have more bike than you need at any moment, just so you can keep progressing. So overall, the durability on this bike has been great. I've taken some huge hits on it. In fact, last Friday I clipped a tree stump on the side of the trail that was covered with grass, you can see, and it dead stopped me, kicked the pedal back into my shin, which destroyed my left shin. Slammed into a tree. Bike was perfectly fine. In fact, I rode another 19 miles that day. When I got home, I noticed, oh hey, the bars are slightly crooked where I spun the stem. All right, so to give you an idea of how tight some of our terrain is, this is a green trail in our local, but you can see how tight it is. These are 780 bars, and basically I have to lead with one hand to get through some of that. We have a lot of trails like that. where we got trees on both sides, and you're kind of ripping through them and praying you don't clip a bar, because that hurts. Up the hill. You can see some of the rocks, although this is nothing. A nice little tight little corner. So that is one thing I will say about the 29er Specialized. In this tighter stuff, you really kind of got to manhandle it. Now it's gonna be true to some extent with all 29ers. Just depends on the geo, obviously. Some are gonna be better at this than others. This one is not good for this, in my humble opinion. You can do it, but for me at my skill level, I have to go relatively slow. You can see I'm mostly coasting through this stuff. You know, I'm sure there's some Rambo out there that can do this at speed, but that's not me. So here's a example of some of the rocks. Oh, this is, again, relatively smooth. But that's why I don't really want to put spacers in the suspension. There's a lot of rough terrain that the whole point of it is to absorb some of this. So anyways, back to the Stumpy. You know, I've had a few weird things go weird on it, like the cassette came loose, last month sometime. So I had to re-torque that. You know, that could have just been incorrectly torqued from the factory. I don't know. But it was a 5-second fix once I kind of figured out what the noise was. It manifested as a kind of a rattle or a clink anytime I went from off power to on power. So you can probably see off to the left. That's the drainage ditch that a lot of our trails cross or go into. It can be pretty rocky and pretty nasty as you go across or through it. So again, that's why I don't particularly want to put spacers in the suspension. I'd like to keep it as plush as possible. So that's why I'm thinking about going with something a little bit longer travel. But again, this bike has served its purpose and will continue to serve its purpose the rest of this season for me. I'm not gonna buy a bike in, next year at the earliest. Just, financially, I'm not gonna spend what I spent on this bike, which is granted not a whole lot of money, but a bike, but I'm gonna get my money out of it before I upgrade. Whew. Also, I want to try a few other changes on it, see what I like, so that when I do go to something a little bit more capable, I know exactly what I like and don't like. So, but overall, to my almost 400 miles of riding on it, it's been a good bike. Other than the weird sprocket coming loose thing, the rear axle managed to work itself loose Monday. I'm not sure when that happened, but I went to ride it and noticed the rear wheel was loose as I was checking everything out before I started, and the axle just spun loose. It is a lever axle. It's not. My front's a wolf tooth, so it doesn't have the quick release spinner on it, but my rear does. I'm not sure if maybe I clipped a tree, jumped along the trail that knocked it down, or I don't know, but it came loose, no big deal. Tightened it back up. So other than cassette coming loose, that rear axle coming loose, and then the brakes kind of giving up the ghost on me, which again, I think is probably more rider fault than anything else. Those are the only things I've had. Then of course there's the tires, which I don't particularly like. Some people may think they're just great. That's a matter of opinion. The tires may be something I change here. Good.
Thank you.
Yep.
Have a good one.
You too. The tires may be something I change. Now the tires may be something I change on this bike to try out. Maybe some Minions or something like that. Some Maxxis, maybe some 13s. I don't know. If you have suggestions, let me know. There's the paved part of the trail. So I may try those in anticipation of, you know, upgrading my bike and seeing what I like and what I don't like, and, you know, all those fun things. Sorry, this is a new section of trail for me. I've never ridden this. So those are maybe some of the things I'll change, try out, especially what's new, what's different. I don't know, there's always something, right? See, big rocks. So, again, overall, I really like Stumpy. It's done well by me. Especially with, tree. To wrap up the March update, 2019 Stumpjumper, 348 miles year to date. About 400 since bought back in December. Only mechanical issue I've had is the Tektron brakes are showing signs of use, maybe excessive by the rider, because, you know, I'm not that good. So I'll bleed those and put new pads in them and see if that helps. The cassette came loose, easy fix. The rear axle came loose, probably hit it on a tree or something, which knocked it loose. So again, not the bike's fault. Overall, great bike, pedals good, allows me to do the things I want to do right now. You know, I'm gonna keep pushing for my 1,800 miles for the year. Right now, that's gonna be a tough run. We got 9 months left, and I'm averaging 130-ish a month or something like that. March was kind of rough. I was on vacation, so and didn't ride. But we're gonna keep pushing for 18. Let's see if we get there. Other than that, man, everyone have a good one. Get on your bike if you get the chance. See ya.